2, 3, 4.
Hey, how the fuck are you? I probably care you.
Almost dropped the phone.
Trust me,
right from the get.
You don't want it on this floor. I broke my. This
Many
phone
times.
is like that because of this.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Missing screen. It's a piece of tape back there. I cracked my little.
Safety first, guys.
Cracked my little camera.
Oh, it's all right.
I'm trying to get a new
We'll
phone
be,
before I
be
leave.
careful around here.
It's looking tragic.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Episode 103 of the K Podcast, and we got my girl Zari in the building tonight, aka Black Phoenix Gardens.
Yeah, but we're not quite in the building, are we?
Yeah. Well, we're in a building.
Right.
We're in a building of sorts.
It's not quite the regular setup.
No, yeah, definitely. As you guys probably saw by this glaring, beautiful sunlight behind us, we are in the Rollins College greenhouse that is run by Ms. Zari here.
Yeah.
And we will get into that in a little bit. So here at the K Podcast, to start it off, I got a little thing called the ones and twos just to kind of loosen us up a little bit, get the convo going. So I'm just going to throw two things at you, and you just tell me which one you would prefer out of the two. Real simple.
Let's go.
Day or night?
Daytime girl, obviously.
Okay.
Obviously.
You see it.
Obviously. Call me a rooster.
Fruit or veggies? Fruit.
Yeah.
Are you a vegetarian or anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to eat a cow.
So we going.
I've actually started eating cows. Like, I wasn't a cow eater before.
Yeah.
Like, it was give me more chicken over here.
So would you prefer, the question is normally burgers or tacos?
I'm still a taco girl.
Yeah.
I honestly was thinking tacos for lunch today.
I mean, hey.
I know a place up the street.
That can
We'll
happen.
get to
That can happen.
I know a good place. Happy hour.
Are we talking shrimp tacos, chicken tacos, all the above? Little chicken tinga?
So, if they're like that Argentina red, like those shrimp that kind of taste like lobster, yes. Other than that, you can give me like a cantina taco.
That's fair.
Cantina taco me.
Cantino taco.
Like the cantina style.
T-shirts coming soon. Cantino taco me.
Cantina taco me.
Coffee or tea?
Both.
Okay, you can't choose both too. There's no.
Both. So I like to kind of like brew my espresso first, then you add a tea bed and you add the hot water, and it's like a
You
tea.
add the tea to the espresso.
And then you put hot water and you let it seep.
What kind of tea you putting in the espresso?
You could put, whatever
Whatever.
kind. I like black coffee, like doing a nice like black
Yeah.
tea type, like a
Damn,
good
so you're
good tea bag with the espresso.
jolted
Give me
after
like,
that
I mean, I'm the only one managing this whole
Right.
thing, plus that little spot over there and the other thing. So I be needing it. I be
Now,
kind of needing the caffeine.
Sidebar, you guys don't grow, like, do you grow any edible plants here or teas or any that kind of thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yet. Yes and yet.
Okay.
My position got combined, so that is the goal moving forward, is to
Okay.
have those edibles incorporated
Right,
more.
right.
But our collection is mostly like exotics, tropicals, orchids, bromeliads, some Florida natives, lots of Florida natives
Right.
as well.
No, yeah, I'm not an expert, but I was walking around, and it definitely seems more of just foliage, not much of like fruiting bodies.
Right.
But
In the tropical room, there's a couple more
little
things
more.
like coconut, banana, chocolate.
Okay, I didn't.
I
see
do
those.
have a tea plant, actually, a camellia.
Okay, shit.
There are most of us.
And
I
if you
do
stick
have one.
around, we're gonna be checking out some of these later, so don't go nowhere. All right, we going beach or mountains?
Beach, Florida girl.
I couldn't even finish the fucking sentence.
Florida girl.
I hear you. We going reggae or dancehall? Or neither? Or
It's
both?
giving slash.
Okay.
It's giving reggae slash dancehall. You see how it pulls up on the SoundCloud.
Yeah, I hear you. That's fair. So we're going both. All in one. Mm-hmm. Sailboat or speedboat?
Probably the sailboat.
You seem like
because
more of a sailboat type of girl.
I've been on a speedboat, and
Not the vibe.
like it's hard to talk. You constantly
Yeah.
get that feeling like you might fly off.
Right.
You can't hear anything. Wind is bashing you in your face. Little misty water. It's not as enjoyable as you think. Like
The excursion of the sailboat is much more
right, like chilling in the
vibe.
ocean. You know, let's float
That's
around
fair.
the waves, not bash through
'em. Sweet or salty?
I'm a brownie girl, so definitely
Brownies?
sweets. I love sweets. Yeah, I love a good brownie.
Oh yeah, that sweet tooth will get you. TV or movies?
Probably TV because a movie can watch me.
Watch you fall asleep.
Oh man, a movie can watch me if it's not a good movie.
Book or audiobook?
Book for
Physical.
sure. Yeah, and just give me the weight.
Right.
Yeah, I need that.
We going laptop or desktop?
Laptop. I sometimes sat my
Portability.
laptop right up here
While you
in
work
the
out here?
greenhouse, and
Okay. I mean,
like
yeah, you
that.
might as well, right?
like DJ. Do a little bit of DJ.
DJ Z out
yeah, I'll
here.
do a DJ section.
Hey man, let me know when the next show is. We going BB King or Ray Charles?
That's too hard because those are like the grandfathers of like the jazz and rhythm and the blues.
Right, the blues.
So it's like I can't pick one or the other.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Some people like to lean one way or the other. Some people go both. Some people go neither. Introduce
Okay,
to option
yeah,
C.
'cause
You
isn't
know?
that what the? Oh, it used to be called that. The House of Blues used to be called like BB Kings or some shit like that.
I think you're
Didn't-
right.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
You don't call it.
It's just House of Blues now.
It's just House of Blues,
right?
but it used to be BB's. If I'm not
Well, the
mistaken.
one I went to in, I want to say it was Vegas, was still BB King's.
It was called BB Kings. Nobody was calling it. When you say House of Blues, it's like that. I mean, that's not what the House of
Yeah.
Blues was
Oh, you mean the
called.
old BB King place?
Yeah, right. Didn't we just started probably calling it that?
Right.
We just started calling that.
All right, so we going both. We going
Both
blues
on
all
that
day.
one.
We going dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Those are my favorite answers when you don't even have to think about it. Like fuck cats, dogs.
Dogs.
Well, you said brownie, so I'm gonna assume chocolate, but chocolate or vanilla.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
A little throwback.
Little Willy Wonka.
Hey, I haven't seen the new one yet.
It's a musical. If no one told you that.
Well, isn't the original somewhat of a musical? Or not? Maybe it's not
Gene
considered
did
a musical.
songs. That wasn't considered a musical. The old
Okay.
one. This one.
This is like all music.
This is like when I watched it, it was giving we made this movie so elementary kids would have like a guide to do their school plays on.
So what's his name? Sings?
Yep.
The main
Chalamet.
guy? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. He's a good actor. I've never seen him sing.
I mean,
though.
yeah, it's worth a watch.
So, sidebar. Do you know the true story of Willy Wonka and like how creepy it is? And like what more or less influenced the first film?
I'm assuming it has something to do with the Belgians in Congo and what they was doing to those people.
In the Congo? Mm-hmm. I mean, that might be a separate influential story as well.
Then what is it? What was
The
Dog?
one that I had heard was it was an immigrant from somewhere in Europe, though, like Czech Republic or Hungary, some random European country, migrated over to New York City, as most people do. And his name was similar to Wonka. Like this guy influenced the character. He had a candy factory in the whole nine, but supposedly, mysteriously, children kept going missing on these tours, and that's what like influenced this whole thing.
Oh, shit.
I'm watching this the other day, and I was just like, "This is creepy as fuck."
Oh shit! That
And now
kind
it's-
of gives, especially if it was like 1890s. We coming over to America
Right.
from that Ellis Island boat.
Right.
They was bringing the Looney Tunes over here.
Exactly.
Most of us people over here,
Exactly.
we're descendants of Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Hey. Takes one to know one. Yeah, and I probably butchered that story, but I'm gonna find it and send it to you because that shit definitely like kind of floored me a little bit because now it's a children's tale,
Right?
like you said, like
yeah, like a Ring Around the Rosie,
musicifying it and all that. Like fuck out of
Ring
here.
Around the Rosie. It.
Anyway, podcast or radio?
So I am an 89.8 listener. I still listen.
89.9?
I mean, depends on where you at.
It changes?
I mean, yeah, if you want to get the good
Talking
service.
about like the jazz.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
What you talking
but
about.
if you really want to get it right, I realize like the 89.8 works better for me than the 89. But the jazz channel, you're probably right. But I do put it on 88.
That's the vibes. That's probably the only radio station that I actually listen to.
Well, good answer.
You know.
Good answer.
But so are you going radio or podcast?
I'm going radio.
Okay. Specifically 89.9.
Yeah, sometimes I
WCF, even though we're in Rollins College right now.
Yeah,
Knights,
y'all
baby.
got it going on. Go Knights. Right? Go Knights.
You went to UCF?
No, I went to FAMU.
Okay.
Went to FAMU.
But still, go Knights. What's FAMU's? The Owls?
The Rattlers. This man said Owls.
Is that's FIU?
I'm about to say that is a Florida one. Someone is an
I
owl.
think.
But yeah, no.
Or is that FAU?
It might be FAU.
I'm fucking them all up.
The
no
red and
disrespect.
they're like red and blue. I remember the colors.
Yeah, it's like a navy blue kind of
FIU,
thing.
I think, might be a panther.
I think you might be right.
They're all panthers. Somebody's a panther.
What's Rollins?
A tar.
A what?
So
A bucket of tar that you paved the road with?
the
A what?
tars. So long story
Tar.
short, Ron's College originally was like a naval base.
Okay.
Years ago, if you didn't know, Ron's
didn't know
College
that.
is one of the first private colleges in the state of Florida. And they used to use the Lake Virginia for like little running practice runs and everything. So a tar is a sailor, essentially. But because
Spelled the same
that's
way.
what they
TAR.
called, like they were called tars back then, not sailors. Hey, everybody asks it, we all be
Yeah, it's
looking
news
like,
to me, but hey.
But now we kind of like adopted the figure of the fox, and it's
Okay.
known for having like foxes originally was on this piece of land. Not as much with development, but you'll still,
Right.
you know, maybe catch an animal or two. So yeah,
But
it's
no-
the tars and the fox.
You see a tar somewhere, and if not, there's a fox lurking. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. I'd never heard that.
New words.
Spelled the same way. TAR.
Yep, it's TARS.
So is it the
tars.
Rollins Tars?
Yep.
Not the Rollins Foxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tars. We
Go
are the
Tars, baby. All right. Another one that is usually tough for folks. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Both.
That's fair.
It's giving both, or you could make a real mean playlist between the both of them. So like, why choose? We didn't grow up in the area where we had to choose between which of those superstars that
Right,
we
right,
liked the
right.
most. Back then it was like you cannot be caught lacking.
You can't listen to one and not the
like
other.
who knows, but now it's like they're both gone. So.
So we going both.
R.I.P. both.
We going guacamole or salsa?
Guacamole.
Guac. Smoothie or
The
milkshake?
guac. Smoothie. Yeah. Smoothie.
We saw your phone briefly. I couldn't, by the monstrosity that it is, I couldn't even tell Apple or Android.
It's an Apple. A caseless raw dogged Apple phone. Yep, I'd be raw dogged.
Is that why it broke though?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what happened. See, this one has one of the crappy cases on it, but the other one didn't, and simple drop, whole thing spiderweb.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
you
what
know.
I'm gonna do.
It happens to the best of us. So we established you are a fan of chicken. We going flats or wings?
Flats. None of the places that charge you for picking that either.
Right. When if you go to the good spot, the one wing is both. But
Yeah,
in
true.
today's modern gentrified
It's-
society,
yeah,
you
it's
got
one
to
or
pick.
the other. Yeah, you do for whatever reason.
Peanut butter, creamy or crunchy?
Almond butter.
Almond butter, creamy or crunchy?
Like not super
Do they
crunchy.
offer?
Like they get it. It's normally never all the way creamy.
It's
so
kinda
it's still
like a
got
little
like
grit,
a chew
right?
to it. It's got
Yeah.
a grit to it.
You do the what's the joint? The Fresh Market where it's like.
No, but I like to go. I like the one from Trader Joe's a lot. Like I'm
Is
kind
it the
of
same
like
thing where they mash it?
No, it's
Oh.
already like in the container or
Okay.
whatever. But I'm kind of like a
As long as it's good.
Trader Joe's party picker. Like, you know, they have. I just it gives like if you were having a party, pick this. But I'm not having a party. It's just for my house.
I'm just hungry as fuck.
It's just for my house. So I'm picking it.
Well, crazy enough, I've gotten hella shit for this. I've never shopped at Trader Joe's once in my life.
Oh my God. Why? Personal?
No reason. I just don't live on this side of town.
And you know it's on, I was about to say, I know it's on this side of town, but the other one is fucking
I live like equidistant between 3 Publix, the most expensive, but it's just so easy. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Publix.
Ain't nobody driving all the way out to Turkey Lake.
That's where the other Trader Joe's
I think so.
at?
It's like Sand Lake, Turkey Lake over there.
Well, in the parking lot over here, right? Unless you rode your bike or something, you're fucked.
It's crazy. Go first thing in the morning. So it's like you got to have like all these extra steps.
Yeah.
To like really,
but it's worth it allegedly.
Everyone
says
it.
It's worth it.
It is worth it, especially being like if you're like a single person.
Just buying bulk shit for yourself.
No reason to keep buying the bulk shit. Just like you just need like 2 or 3
couple of things.
2 or 3 tomatoes, or you don't feel like chopping up everything tonight.
Yeah. See, but I live by myself, but I buy, not in bulk per se, but I buy a lot just so I don't have to go right back to the store.
Yeah, I know, but you might be like tired of that. I have like harissa, so now I'm getting like harissa shrimp, and then they came out with like this Italian version of like harissa. So then it's like if I want spicy Italian, I just throw a thawb in there. If I'm like making Mediterranean, I just throw a thawb in there. So it's like it lasts me by doing that. When I do my little Trader Joe's shop, you go hard.
Fair enough.
You go hard.
I need to learn the ways, you know.
You gotta. I feel like we might make a pit stop.
We might have to,
just because it's right there. We're going to eat first.
It's it's what 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
I'd assume after lunch it'll dip back down at least a little bit. Hopefully, I don't know. You
traffic wise, or what do you mean?
Like for the parking,
you'll be able to get a spot.
Okay,
it's just like one of those things where because if you've ever been in that plaza, you already know it's like a little wildy.
Like fight somebody,
but you're gonna find something. You got like a $50 budget, and I promise you could throw stuff in the cart, and you still will be like, "Dang, I saved some." Like, wow, I didn't even hit my budget. That's what happens to me.
We might have to do that then. All right, OJ, we going pulp? No pulp.
Pulp. I'm from Florida.
Thank you very much.
With no ice.
People with ice?
Exactly. Like, huh?
If you keep it in the fridge, you don't need fucking ice.
If you go outside of Florida,
people put ice in the
they'll
OJ.
try to like serve you orange juice with ice. It's definitely happened to me.
With ice, I feel like is a no.
Like
you're watering down the juice.
You're so mean if you do that.
Yo, why you do? If anything, you put liquor in it or something.
Give me some of that.
Hey, to each their own. That was my thing in college. I found out what was the Snoop joint, the gin and juice. Everyone did like grape juice, like more of the sweeter juices, like pineapple juice and stuff. But I found gin and apple juice.
Oh, in that? Well, that's
Just
not
saying.
Quite, because it was gin. But then when we was putting that Crown Royal with apple juice, is when
Crown
they started.
Royal?
When they start making
the
that
apple flavored Crown Royal.
No, that was because people was mixing the Crown with the apple juice.
I mean, Crown's not bad.
Crown's not bad. You can drink it. It's been a minute for me though. I'm probably
apple juice is definitely a sleeper. Shout out to apple juice, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Martinelli's love out here.
Martinelli's only.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Martinelli's is better, actually. Now that you say that, Mott's is like the kids' version of the apple juice. Once you become an adult,
that's for the babies. That's what you get your toddler. You put some extra water in it. You ain't giving them that for real.
Damn, now I want some apple juice. Nah, but that was the ones and twos with Z. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I feel like I know you so much better now.
Oh, dear.
But first things first, explain to my dumbass the difference between a horticulturalist and like a gardener or a caretaker of plants, if you will.
Okay, so
break it down for technical terms.
I feel as though if you think of horticulture,
because that is your title, right? You're the head horticulturalist.
Well, I wish. I'm the greenhouse and campus farm manager.
Okay.
I'm studying to be a horticulturalist.
That's what you're working towards. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it is because I am versed in the world and sphere of plants that everything kind of falls underneath my umbrella of care.
Okay.
Most gardeners or urban ag people, urban farming, agriculturalists, any of those what's and haves and have you, mostly focus on like food production. Then you have people who are into botany, who are like me,
which
are
is
into horticulture.
Agriculture is kind of, it's a given that they are growing food, right?
Right.
So this is more, like you said, botany, non-fruiting body plants.
Right.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's how you would. That's like the short, simple answer: is you growing food or not?
Okay.
Right.
Fair.
Like if you're like, I like everything. I have houseplants. I have a garden. Then maybe you might be a horticulturalist, and you didn't know until you heard it on this podcast.
Right.
Like you probably could be.
And so what do you need to obtain a specific like certification to be considered a horticulturalist? You need to log X amount of hours, or how does that work?
So in the state of Florida, you do not.
Okay.
It does vary state by state. Obviously, in California, they do have licensing programs that you have to go through. In Florida, because we have quite a few landscapers here, it's like you can be just like, I'm a landscaper,
Right.
Or
yeah, you see a truck every other street.
Anybody can go and do that.
Okay.
To have a little bit more of a reputation behind you and be a little bit more reputable when you are telling people that you are able to do these kinds of installations for me, whether that is like plants or you would like a edible landscaping garden installation, me telling you that I'm certified with the state of Florida as a horticulturalist means, oh, she knows about almost all the plants,
right?
Which she does.
And obviously you work in academia, you work
Right.
for a university. It's
Right.
not like you're just on someone's landscaping
No,
trailer
right.
like, hey, I'm a horticulturalist. Like,
Hey, just 'cause I
all
said
right,
so.
crazy lady.
Right, exactly.
Have fun over there.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, that clears it up a little bit, because I feel like when we first met, I thought that you said your title was horticulturalist, but maybe we were talking about kind of what you were working
Professionally,
towards.
yeah, right, professionally.
And so that's what your degree is in, like botany, or
No, I studied biology and chemistry in school, but I had a greenhouse internship as a work study student. So I myself was a work study student working in the greenhouse at FAMU, and well, I kind of like attained it for myself. I like to tell this story. It's the perfect place to tell this story.
Yeah.
I like to tell the story of me sitting, and I think it was like a plant physiology class or a botany class, something along those lines. And I'll never forget my professor. He was a horticulturalist. He had
Okay.
I remember him being a horticulturalist. He had his master's in horticulture. And him just standing at the front of the class, it's like auditorium style, just like frustrated because no one was paying attention to him. I'd be like the only one raising my hand, answering the questions, and that's just because I like sometimes to get things moving. I gotta answer, move on to the next one. I gotta answer, let's move on to the next one. So I would always raising my hand. He was like, she can't be the only one always raising her hand. I remember him fussing, like, she can't be the one always raising her hand. Like, it was like a thing. He's like, just like your other professors, I get paid to be a professor too. Right? He said, like, he's at FAMU. He's not. I'm like, you know what? Wait a minute. In my head, everyone's like, oh, well, he was on one today. But in my head, I was like, wait a minute. He's kind of right. Like, we all are in these classrooms studying, for the most part, with my peers, where everyone wanted to be a pharmacist, wanted to be some kind of doctor, go into nursing school, maybe be a PA, dentist, blah, 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 blah. Like, the list goes on. And as did I. But I realized in that auditorium classroom with a room full of my peers, if I was to pursue horticulture, I wouldn't have nobody in my lane.
No competition, right?
And has not been.
And I mean, that's
Catch up if you think you can catch me. Catch up if you think you can catch me now. Come for it. I want it.
That is a great.
That's how she did it.
That is like a great epiphany to have, though.
It was. Oh my God. Especially when I was still in school. So I was like, let me figure this out. I still remember I was like, had a few tears about it actually the other day, because I have a conference coming up and I'm going to be presenting at this conference. It's a greenhouse educator and research greenhouse conference. So I'm presenting at that. And I'm just like thinking about my journey, thinking about my story. I still can remember that day where like I felt like my life changed. And I was like, I got to figure out some way to make this greenhouse thing my job. And I was like, if I can make 40,000 bands, I was like,
off of like messing with plants.
I was like, I am fucking dig it. I was like, I probably find a husband. I have not found a husband yet, but I make more than 40 bands.
Gentlemen,
so
she's single, guys.
I make more than 40 bands. So I was like, check.
Right.
You did that. We'll figure out the rest of it.
Well, no,
later.
you're doing your thing. I mean, you're running this shit. She's going to Paris for the Olympics.
Oh, she's turning 30 and going to Paris for the Olympics. Spoiler, lots of gardening content.
Oh, so were you?
Soon.
Did your birthday kind of spark that trip more so?
So Not exactly. It was like I got an invite. Like, oh, I'm gonna be in Paris. Like, you should come. I have a chateau. I got spare space. Like, so I was like,
Yeah, I don't have a reason to.
don't
not
you
go.
threaten me with
Right,
a good time.
Right.
I was like, I just got my new promotion. I'm about to go to this travel grant. Like, I was like, I'm doing like these little things that make you feel as though you're getting accomplished. You're going somewhere in your
Checking
life.
the boxes.
And so then it was like that opportunity fell in my lap. I was like, I honestly, most women I know are not like, I'm gonna go to Paris just for the fuck of it. It's like, where's my man? But me, I was like, ooh, but the Gardenz, like, oh my God,
Right.
the Gardenz, like Claude
A whole different
Monet,
draw.
Jerome is calling me, Villa Vogomi is calling me, like Versailles is calling me, like fuck them niggas, like I'm going for Gardenz, like I'm going for the Gardenz. That was what was really in my head.
Fuck out of
So that's kind of just like how that went. I was like, but the Garden. So I was
Right.
like, hell yeah. So I got my ticket. Bless the Lord, how I got my ticket on such a good rate. I got my ticket round trip was like less than $700
Damn.
to go to the Olympics. Like what?
Do you have to fly up to like JFK to
Of
go over there?
course, yeah. I
Well, but
mean-
you're going to NC first,
Right.
So explain a little bit. You're speaking at the conference. Are you speaking about kind of like what you do here?
Mm-hmm.
They have the different speakers who just kind of give their own.
Right. Like this is what it's like at my campus and what I'm responsible for. So primarily at Rollins, we have what is called like a collection. And there are sometimes opportunities where professors and students would do research as well. Because of the automations in the greenhouse where it's temperature controlled, water's automated, it controls the humidity, the venting, the shade cloth, everything like that. So you're able to run experiments as well out of the greenhouse. There are other greenhouses that are solely for that purpose at different institutions of academia.
Okay.
However, at our campus, it's also housed to hold the collection that is very, special and rare.
Right. And I'd imagine you guys would kind of trade
Right.
experiences, stories, different methods. Like, oh, we
Right.
found out this
Like
worked.
this is what treats these mealy
Right.
bugs, especially being in a closed environment. This is the way that I put it. Especially being in a closed environment when most plants are not house plants. This kind of fucks up people a little bit, but believe it or not, all plants come from outside.
Right, yeah.
There
like,
is
shocker.
really like ain't no such thing as a plant that's going to love shade.
That grew out of vinyl tile.
Like ain't nothing. It's not gonna love your AC and your
Right.
vent. Like it's there's like
it might be able to withstand it.
it's
but-
okay. It's
right.
going to make it work.
Right.
But it ain't no such thing. When you put these plants in the conditions to allow them to thrive, that's exactly what they're going to do.
No, yeah, I mean, I believe you. So when Lex and I lived together, we had like an outdoor porch space.
Oh, yep, I remember.
And I had a bunch of plants that were out there that did fine. I barely touched them, and they
Exactly.
thrived. And now my place is all indoors. Had the same plants. They've been long gone for a while. They didn't make it.
No, it's just like
Unfortunately
what
for me,
happened.
yeah.
We were living good. I
We
was
had all
La
the
Vida
sun
Loca.
and the rain and shit, fresh air that we wanted.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah.
like getting choked out by AC and windows. Anyway, RIP plants. I'm sorry.
We all try.
I still love you guys. I'm gonna get some more. I'll get your cousins up in there soon.
I'm gonna give you a plant for today.
Okay.
I got one
Little
for you.
parting gift.
I got you a gift. I got
Appreciate
you
that.
something.
Do you have like a favorite plant to work on? And do you have a favorite plant, like maybe for your house, just kind of like for the aesthetics of it?
So, believe this or not, because of my previous statement of this is like I don't need no slack for this, but because of where I work and all this, I actually don't have plants in my house
You just
because
kind of like, let me get.
I know
get
they
enough
are.
of it at work.
They will no, because I know they're gonna be fucking sad. Like
Oh, fair,
I have
fair.
an east facing house. I have like no sunlight coming in there, no anything. So I have like clips of leaves in vases in my house, but not like. And I kind of replace those as needed. But I wouldn't do that to a plant because I know they would just thrive so much better outside.
It's a valid answer. But I guess
kinda
so.
That's mean.
If you did, or let's say you had an outdoor space where you would have plants of your
I
choice.
do. Yeah, I have a few.
You got
outside.
favorites?
I have outside ones.
Aesthetically?
Aesthetically, I love me a good croton. I also love, like I have here, my baby girl cordyline.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with these. They're nice, beautiful, tropical. They do really well in the state of Florida. There's different variances of colors as well as with protein. I think that they do really well. This is one of our philodendron buddies. These are like really fun vining, growing plants that just give you like my plant's alive.
Right.
Like, my plant's throwing, my
gives me
plant's
jungle
driving,
vibes.
my plant's happy. Like sometimes that's what you need in your life to see like there's some kind of progress around you somewhere. And I don't know anything better than seeing your plant grow, like a new leaf. Like,
Right.
oh, a new era. Like, or for me, my like a addendum is flowering right now. And it's like, oh, yay.
And do you have a favorite to work on? Like you just, whenever you're working on this plant, you just really like get in the zone, or you just enjoy it more than others for whatever reason?
I have no bias.
It's like picking your favorite kid.
Kinda. Because I feel like even there's moments where I probably haven't even encountered any of the plants that I think would be my favorite, but I do have quite a few that I just like completely enjoy. So I have, especially with the collection.
I was looking at that. This what is a bottle plant from Australia. This thing, if you, can,
know my, you
I was
know
looking
my
at the
bottle
tag.
plant?
I was looking at the tag. All right.
I was like, honestly, my bottle plant might be one of those ones because that sucker was like dead when I got here.
It's just a super unique looking plant.
For now, if you've seen, you looked it up, what it's going to look like, right?
No.
Oh my God, please. We need his live reaction right now. Look at what that tree is eventually going to look at.
This is like in the juvenile phase?
Yeah, like it's increasing like a month.
Okay.
And I'm like loving it. So that's one of those ones where I'm like, you'll see it growing and you'll see the changes and you're like, oh my God. So for me, it's that one where I'm like, I can see you
Not
growing.
the bottle palm.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, no, get out of here.
The bottle tree.
Australian bottle tree. This guy? Is that a bad one?
Well, that looks like my babe. Oop. Because you're... And this is also, I wish I had it on top of my tongue, but I should have wrote it down just so I could be like very prepared. He did not type in the correct thing. This is why when
I am not a horticulturalist. For
when
the
you
record.
talk to professionals, we are going straight like scientific Latin because people think like I'm gonna type in bottle plant, and I was like, that's not what I said to type in. If you're gonna do the generic name, you're gonna type in the bottle tree, which is also
Bottle tree?
the bottle tree.
Oh.
And this is what she should be looking like soon. One of
What in
those.
the fuck?
One of those.
That's that?
That's going to be that.
What the hell?
So it's a water storage. The trunk turns into like a water storage. That's how they
You sure it's
are
not that?
able. That's how they're able to adapt to the conditions in Australia and Queensland's known as the Queensland bottle tree.
Yeah, because
So-
it looks similar. You probably know the name of those fucking trees over in like Madagascar. That have the
It's similar,
giant trunks.
right.
For the same reason, I'm assuming.
Right. The bow.
Like the camel's hump.
No, but I do. No, that's a gumbo lumbo. No, I have a sausage tree that's from Africa.
I definitely
that's doing
never
really-
would have guessed that would be that.
with that. Right, I know.
Maybe that one.
Right, yeah, it's giving. The
That looks like the
freaking
freaking mandrake shit from Harry Potter, doesn't it?
You know what? It kind of does. I'll give you that. That was funny. I know those scenes like the back of my hand, so that one made me laugh. Always, and I've always loved those little kind of scenes.
Yeah,
and then
right?
Harry Potter, like when they had the greenhouse teacher, I was like, okay.
The funny thing is, I was never really into Harry Potter. My brother was super into it when we were kids. I never got into it, and then like literally within the last calendar year, I got really sick, and I was just on my couch for a fucking
I
week.
remember you told me that.
and
I
I
wanna
ran
talk to you.
through all of those.
Oh, did you?
The whole 7 whatever, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
these are awesome.
I was like, I wonder what that feels like.
Just converted like that.
So now you get to read all the books, feel
I'm not gonna
better,
do that.
and watch the movies. Did you
Well,
watch
so-
the movies in order
But
after?
I didn't read the books. I ran through all the movies because I'm a weirdo. I don't like fiction books for whatever reason.
Okay,
I like
fair.
reading nonfiction.
Right.
But I
Same.
ran through all the movies, and it converted me so much so that I fucking downloaded the video game, and I was playing that for a little while. They have I forget what it's called now, but it's basically you're a student at Hogwarts. And I was like, this is kind of lit. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is pretty tight.
And then you have to go to Universal.
I actually have been there. So
You did the Harry Potter
I did that
World?
before when I was still a non-fan, I guess. So like I wasn't impressed. I'm like, yeah, this is. Let me not say I wasn't impressed. I just wasn't geeking out.
I get you. You're like, I'm not a Disney kid.
Right.
You know,
Right.
those Disney kids.
It's another level.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It always will be. Being a Floridian, I just never can. I don't get it.
Well, and that's why I say, like, I'll never say I'm not impressed because what they do over there is super
Very much
fucking
so
impressive.
for it.
You know what I
Very much
mean?
so.
But to our point, like, I'm just not a super fan.
True.
Like, I'll
Yeah.
go there and like, oh, this is cool.
Right. Like everybody fans out about their own thing.
Right.
Like you do your music thing, you meet some like
Right.
stars or behind the scene like producers or whatever. I'm about to bet you
Right.
you lose it.
And I'm just watching them mix. I'm geeking out, and
Right,
someone's
me.
like, "What the fuck are
Like,
you looking at?"
when
right now?
when I go to these gardens and stuff, I'm like, like everyone is like always like looking at me like, wow, she really knows her stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've had people say like, wow, she really knows her stuff to me, or ask her. I'm like, you the volunteer, like you work here.
Yeah, you actually work.
You
You have a
actually-
name tag on, sir.
Yeah, like you have the answers.
Yeah, but I got the knowledge. Knowledge reigns supreme. All right. Well, we touched briefly on it earlier about like the difference between agriculture, horticulture, botany, and farm life / agriculture is basically assuming you grow some sort of edible goods.
Right.
Now, looking into the future, old lady Zari, assuming you retire from all this, like, do you see farm life vibes in your future? or
So
What do you
I don't
think?
know about farm life, but
maybe not like that per se, but
and because I'm a frequent goer of botanical gardens, there's always these programs for elderly people to
I come volunteer.
kind of be like volunteers, but they like the head honcho volunteer. Like they kind of run the other volunteers and make sure that these like random
Like
volunteers
we're all
just don't
volunteers, but I'm the most important.
that just don't fuck up anything. So
Right.
I'm gonna be like the one. I had like a 25-year career in this. That's not how you water that.
That's fair.
That's gonna be me. And then they'll learn. You know, you gotta have a little bit of that.
An actual
You know.
seasoned, knowledgeable
So I hope to be able to be one of those people.
MVP volunteer.
I have learned so much from them. Like
Yeah.
they have so much knowledge to pass on. So
you go to Lou Gardens?
these are
Or
any
all of
botanical,
them?
like any botanical garden. When I took the kids, we went to Portland. We were running into the ladies at the Portland Japanese Gardens, who you can tell are like they were doing this. They know what they're doing. Versus the people who are like, I'm waiting for her to tell me that I'm going to do it right. I want to be that.
And wasn't it you that was telling me about what's that one, the Japanese botanical garden that's down by like
Murakami.
Vero Beach?
Yep,
Right?
Murakami.
That was you that was telling me about that, right?
Favorites. They won an award not too long ago, like I think it's like one of the best Japanese gardens or something like
Really?
that. I think so. I wish I could remember, but
Yeah, I've never been. I want
top
to go though.
tier.
Yeah.
I've never been to Japan, but I imagine that even though I've never been to Japan, if I went to Japan, that's what it would look like.
True.
Like it gives like, whoa,
I'm here.
I
You just like
where am
teleported.
I? Same thing with Portland. Japan. It's like, wow, where am I? Besides like the little nooks and crannies of where you can see like the skyline and you can see like Mount Hood and Mount St. Helens and you can see like the mountains because you're up on a cliff and all that stuff still is like hard to conceptualize for my mind. Like the road is like up here and I'm like down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's weird when you're in Florida and you're like, there are no roads like that.
Yeah, there's no elevation
Like
change.
it's no elevation. Like
Yeah, I grew
unless
up
they
up
make
north.
the highway up, no
Right,
one's
right.
gonna be up
or unless
above
you're on the I-4 overpass.
Yeah,
And
like
you're looking down
nothing.
at the
Yeah,
street.
you know
That's
what I
it.
mean. Like that's it, and that's the little.
I mean, yeah, the most we get is if you go out to like Mount Dora, you might have like a
True.
10-foot elevation. If you're
But that's
lucky.
not like
No, yeah.
you know. I just came back from New York.
That's
I had
Florida mountains.
a workshop at New York Botanical Gardens. And same thing. I was like just riding. And I was just like, like grip my seat. I was like,
What
yo.
part of New like upstate?
I guess that's what it's called in the Yonkers, in the Bronx, Yonkers. That's where the New York Botanical Gardens is, up in Yonkers.
Okay. Well, no, if it was in Yonkers, that's still the city. Like upstate, you know, geographically, New York City's that little southeast corner island kind of thing.
I'm gonna tell you what they told me when I was telling people. I was like,
Did
well,
they say uptown maybe?
they said you're not even on the Metro map, so stop saying that.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, to my understanding, upstate's
what
like Albany and
I
shit.
say that when I was like, whenever people come from Yonkers to Florida, they say they from New York.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, you are from New York.
You know what I'm saying? They say I'm from New York. I'm from they do all that little hoopla hoopla. So hey, I went there saying the same thing. That's just all I ever knew.
And they were like, "You're from Florida, aren't you?"
No, baby, no, baby girl.
You're from Florida, aren't you? You're like, you know what? Fuck out of here. Can you explain a little bit what exactly Black Phoenix Gardens means to you?
This is a good one. So I'm not gonna make it a long story.
I mean,
how much time we have?
Take as long as you like.
Okay.
This is the beauty of running this shit. We can be here as long as we need to.
So Black Phoenix Gardens started as like this vision that I had, like I said, that started when I was in undergrad, of believing that I would be able to, it sounds crazy now, but pursue a career in horticulture some way, form, or fashion.
Why does that sound crazy? It's what you're doing.
It's what I'm doing
right?
now, but back then, and then to have to talk about how I kind of like developed this whole thing to support this idea and then did thing, that doesn't really happen to a lot of folk. You know what I mean?
Which is why, that's why we applaud you here. That's why we're talking on the K podcast.
Right? She's somebody. And I realized very quickly that no matter where we go as far as like helping people with their own gardens or their plants or restarting a garden, that I would basically always be starting anew. It was like I would be reborn as such with new knowledge that I've learned from other previous gardens and environments and places that I've been in, but it would be a new fresh start almost every single time, depending on where I would be at. It would be a new start. Like you'll take out the old and regrow some new.
Right.
And what does that sound like? It gives Phoenix. It gives to come
okay. I was thinking
from
plants.
the ashes, from your compost, like the elements that you put in your compost, and you restart and invigorate a brand new life. And so that's what I thought of. It's like, okay, Black Phoenix. I was like, Gardenz with a Z.
For Zari.
And that's kind of how I came up with that, and always kind of staying on that mindset of knowing that there be and have been many times in my life where I just had to completely start over from like nothing, from like what they call it, rock bottom.
Yeah.
The soil had some rocks in it, and you move them to the side, and you still grow what you can grow. Like that.
But so, like, would you say Black Phoenix Gardens is more of like yourself as a brand, or would you say it's more of like a horticulture company that you've started on the side kind of deal? Like how would you describe it to
it's
people?
Evolving into that. I constantly have these conversations with myself and people who know me, whether or not I should try to come up with a new name. I am doing some horticultural business underneath a little like subsidiary I came up with. It's called Shop Rootbound, and thinking of like plants kind of stuck in its own condition.
Okay.
And then you kind of like bound them, unbound them. So I've thought of like going underneath that new name, but I feel as though I've reached a point of like momentum. It might be hard to kind of like swing back. So maybe it just becomes like abbreviated and you know what it stands for. So we're still figuring out that. Of like, is it going to be full-fledged horticultural production company with the name, or a rendition of what you see when you see Zari type of situation? But right now, when you see that, no, that's me.
Right. No, exactly.
Like when you see that, no, that's me.
Undeniable. No, yeah, and that's that's what we want to promote here. So for anyone who may be listening and interested in seeing these kinds of things, there's obviously the local like Lou Gardens and things like that.
Right, mead as well.
No one else has access to this though.
Which camera to look at to get
Either one. This is your solo camera.
Unless you are faculty, staff, or students at Rollin College, please do not look up my email trying to ask for a tour.
You ain't getting one.
It's closed to the public. Oh boy, know me. And that's what you do for your friends when they have a thing that they're good at and trying to do, and you have a thing. You come together and you do said thing.
Collab.
But don't you email me my work email asking me about no tour.
Yeah, if you want to see this beautiful greenhouse foliage we got here, you can check the videos.
Check the video.
You can hit the post video after the episode to get a little close ups that we're gonna do later.
The shades are closing.
Oh, they self-close
My automation, yeah, everything's automated.
Well, that is pretty fire. You guys, you caught that on camera, and I didn't.
Yeah, well, I be clocking. I know like clockwork when this thing's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. I check those. That's what I be on, checking it.
Hell yeah, staying on top of shit.
Do you need that extra light? Or
Nah, we're good.
Okay.
I think we're gonna wrap this up in a second here, but obviously let these folks know what you got coming up. We mentioned the show and the trip.
Right.
Mention some big items you got coming up, where they can find you, tap in with you, and want to buy some plants.
Yes.
Support the mission, you know?
Yes, definitely. So on socials, social as in Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on the Bomb app. But you can find me on Instagram at Black Phoenix Gardens with a Z.
With a Z.
And I'll take this back. If you know that you are like in the industry or you're a Rollins College student, you do have access to the greenhouse. So please send me let's discern. You can send me an email and be like, hey, can I get that to our senior podcast? Da, da, da.
Right.
That's fine.
If you legitimately want to get some education from Zari, not just come up here and shoot a rap video with your friends in the greenhouse. That ain't happening. Sorry, guys.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to pop that bubble. I have gotten those random requests.
I'm sure. This is a beautiful space. Like I'm sure you have.
I bet. And that's why it's a hard no. No scragglers off the street.
Right.
So other than that, though, you can find me again on Instagram. You can email me at blackphoenixgardens@gmail. Any of those like planting questions. Can you get me some plants for my garden? Can you get me some plants for my house? Can you help me with my garden? Any of that after August 13th, preferably, because I will be gone to Paris for like 2.5 weeks for my 30th birthday. Doing that, I do also have a market coming up in Eatonville, Florida. I think.
Yeah, no, we'll take your time. Get the deets.
Yeah, let me get this right.
And folks can hit you up. I mean, let's say another university saw this and they wanted to book you to speak. They can hit your
email. If you have an academia email,
right? .edu,
.edu.org. If you are a nonprofit, possibly, but we're trying to keep it simple,
right?
So that night market is going to be in Eatonville, Florida, at Town Hall on 107, isn't it 107? 307 East Kennedy Boulevard. It's from 5 to 9 on. We're gonna rewind and edit this back.
You're good.
We're gonna rewind and edit that back. So
5 to 9.
Yeah. If you want to buy some plants for me, I won't technically be at this particular market because it's my birthday and all, but I will have my booth out there and somebody representing, which is my mama. My mama gonna be here.
Shout out to mama.
Mama's gonna be holding down the fort on my birthday while I'm traveling, and you can find me at the Eatonville Market. It is August 3rd, 5 to 9 at 307 East Kennedy Boulevard, Eatonville, Florida, 32751. So that would be the next opportunity. I also have a market tomorrow. And that one is, if I didn't have a calendar, I would die.
Yeah.
12 North Primrose Road.
Okay.
From 11 to 4. And that's going to be with Collective Corner. And I will also be slanging and dangling some plants as well.
Very nice. That's Primrose near like Curry Ford.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah. It's the Elks Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
At the Orlando's Elks Lodge. So, they've been using their space quite a bit lately for little pop-ups and have-yous and whatever
there you go.
Does use. So, yeah. That's where you can find me.
Make sure you pull up and support the Z. You know what I mean? But no, I definitely appreciate you coming on today. This has been a long time. We've been trying to do this episode. We've been trying to do this episode for probably over a year.
But it's shade.
No, this is not shade towards you.
It's true, though. It's true. But he knows I was trying to get my footing.
Right.
I was trying to get my footing.
But this episode was so important to me because of the content of what we're actually talking about. I talk to so many artists, and I talk about just random shit going on in the world. But like,
something a little like, and it's not that it's far from your interest. It is something you are interested in.
Right.
You do like plants, from a standpoint, and your other plants on your other podcasts.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, my degree was in environmental, and one of my favorite classes was ethnobotany.
Okay,
So like I didn't make it to
nice.
this point, and the funny thing is, I know my dad watches the podcast. He is a plant fucking nerd. He will love this shit.
We'll let Daddy come. Daddy can come.
Yeah, Dad, you pull up. Everybody else, fuck out of here.
I promise you. It goes right to spam.
Right.
So you can try. That goes right to spam.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, so we're gonna wrap up for today.
Okay.
But obviously, once you get more shows under your belt, like, always welcome to come back. You are officially part of the K Podcast
The
alumni
family,
now.
I know. Hopefully, I have like something exciting for you to be able to come and like showcase your skills or find a way to incorporate what you're able to do. I've been trying to I got put on. Now that I'm here back at home, they know having this community element that I can bring to said college and the people that I know. If you don't know, I've been gone for like 5 years. I came back for this job specifically. So when he says it's been like a year since I got back too. It's been like a year. So finding some way to, get you some help you out over here.
I mean, yeah, if you ever need sound,
they be asking me all the
videos,
time.
all that
They be
shit.
asking me all the time. So we're gonna figure something out.
We got it all covered. And that's the beauty of, you and I with the friendship, all just having a group of friends where everyone kind of brings something different to the table. Like, oh, you do such and such. I know
my girl.
someone who needs
I
that.
know somebody.
Exactly. But no, yeah, so we are going to wrap up episode 103 of the K Podcast. Friendly reminder, follow the show at The Real K Podcast. Hit the email, the real K podcast at gmail.com. And we got a little saying around here, Z.
What's up?
Stay safe, stay smart, stay sexy, and stay tuned out here. You
All
heard?
right.
We out of here. Peace.
Thanks so much.
The K Podcast. That's a wrap. Sayonara. Fuck out. Thanks for listening. Hasta luego.
Thanks for tuning in. You don't have to go home. You just can't
Stay here, aight?
Peace.